Hi there, crafters. Thanks for popping in today. Long time no share, I know, but I am using my 3 Old 3 New series to create a layout inspired by the mood board for issue 10 of the Scrapbookers Journal. So I pulled out some stash items. I have got this packet of No Limits titles, some little alpha letters, and some 49er Market leaves and butterflies. And then I've also got this pattern paper pack, which I purchased for the woods and wood grain feels, and I loved the textures of the paper, but guess what? I've never opened it. So one thing I'm loving about this series is that it actually gives you a chance to really dig down into the items that you're using and take the time to get creative with them, because if not, they just sit in our stashes and who knows what might happen. You know, we're just going to end up with these products that we don't like anymore or have no use for. So one of my favourite ways to use pattern papers is by tearing, and I'm going to create with a 9x12 layout today. When I'm doing single photo layouts at the moment, I do tend to just do those 9x12s because it doesn't feel like I'm wasting a whole 12x12 page. Now I've torn this corner piece of paper and I don't really like the direction that this is going, so I have to sort of stop and rethink it. I decide I want to create a little internal sort of border on my 9x12 page and fill that with some patterned paper. So as you can see, the torn elements really create something a little bit extra. I have got a full 4x6 photo, and I'm going to embellish this from the top right to the bottom left. Now, this is quite a funny photo, and that's why I'm scrapping this, because of the memory involved in this photo. It's my darling husband's what I'm calling his safety first use of the ladder. So he spends a lot of time up ladders, which means he's super confident about his balance and using them. Whereas I am so not confident on a ladder. I get onto the first rung and I'm a shivering mess because I feel like I'm just going to fall. But essentially, I snapped this photo of him doing some work in the yard. He's got his safety boots on in the form of his thongs and pluggers, or whatever you may call them. He is climbing the ladder, and then in typical safety fashion, he is leaning right over the back of the fence. So I thought this was a cute photo and I wanted to scrapbook it straight away. So using these little alphas, that's what I'm going to put onto this extra sheet of paper, is just that safety first part of the journaling element to this photo, and I'm going to let that dry. I find this is a great technique for creating with little alphas. I can't get fiddly with them and stick them onto the actual layout. Sometimes I also can't decide where I want to put them, so I have to put them on something separate and then add them later on. Now, for this border, I have used just ordinary pen down first, and then I went over it with my crayon, and the crayon is water soluble, so if I wanted to enact this and make it really mixed media, I could definitely add a bit of something extra, but I do leave it as it is because I just don't think it needs it once I get a bit sort of grungy and add these rub-ons. So, Simple Stories rub-ons I'm using today, and I have bought these and they've been in my stash and it's time to get them used. And as you can see, I'm just creating this sort of border around the page, and I do really like how this came out. I think it's super cool. You could probably do the same thing with some black stamping if you had the right kind of stamps, but for me, I really like the rub-ons, and again, I'm stash busting, so any time that I can use up something from my stash is going to be a win-win. Now, I pulled out these frames because they're blue and they match, but they are actually frames for shaker pockets. And so they're quite thick and they have double layers of cardboard thickness, and then they have plastic in between them as well. So I do end up trimming them back a little bit because I want to use them as frames, not necessarily as shaker pockets. So they're going to have to be altered just a tiny little bit. And then I am adding just some words, and I sort of want to cover up a little bit of the house portion because it's not important to the story. So I'm not too worried if I'm covering some elements with words or stickers or little embellishments here, as you can see. None of that was related to the story, so I'm quite happy just to cover some of that up. One of the first times in a little while I haven't actually mounted my photo, which is something I do prefer, but in this case, again, this was very heavy in story mode, so I focused a lot on telling this story from that top right-hand corner to that bottom left-hand corner. So those little frames, as you can see, I've just chopped them in half, and they, again, help draw your eye just from the leaf elements. So I sort of have a bit of a play here and add a few more bits and pieces. It's just about layering and finding where I'm happy adding little extra bits and pieces. The actual layout itself, I really think turned out quite good. I love the pops of blue. I love the grungy sort of background, the patterned paper. But really, I thoroughly enjoy using up stash items, and I must admit I'm very good at buying products, and I think that's a little bit of what I do more so than the actual using of the products. So yes, as much as I haven't shared too much on my YouTube in a little while, I'm hoping to get back into it. I've been super busy with some other work-related and home-related stuff going on, but crafting is coming back, and I hope to share a few more videos soon. Okay, finally I'm just going through a couple of little sticker elements. There's not a lot more that I need to add to this. It's quite a detailed layout already, picking a few little bits and pieces from my stash. Again, such a great feeling. I love this stash busting part of this particular layout and video. So I am going to leave you there as you have a look through the last of the embellishing. Thank you for tuning in and watching, and I hope that I will have more videos for you again soon. So happy scrapping!